The Philadelphia Eagles have looked very, very good, but I don't even think they've hit their final form. There's a scary truth about this Philadelphia Eagles team that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, so we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. Another episode of Philly the podcast. So like I said, man, I want to talk about this Eagles team. Obviously 8-2, we're looking good, coming off a huge win against the Washington Commanders. We got another big game against the Rams. Then we're ramping up, right? We got to see the Ravens. We got to see a couple other teams. So I think that outside of the Ravens and the Steelers, our schedule's pretty favorable. I don't want to say easy. There's never an easy game in the NFL. But there's something I want to talk about that I don't feel like a lot of people have been talking about. And it starts in the offseason, all right? You go back, actually it starts all the way back in 2020. You go back to our Super Bowl year that we made it to the Super Bowl, obviously lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of turnover. You know, I was talking to my girl about this, and it's very rare that you see a team lose both their offensive and defensive coordinator after a year. So you started off that offseason already in the behind, right? Already in the back seat. So what did you have to do? You had to go ahead and promote some guys from within, maybe not the best players, coaches. You ended up with Sean Desai, maybe not your first choice. It was pretty obvious that the Eagles wanted Vic Fangio. There's rumors that they wanted Kellen Moore. So, like I said, all these guys were already taken. You had to kind of start from the back seat, make your way up. Last year was just kind of a poop show. Yeah, to be nice about it, right? To be PC about it, I guess. And you look at how that happened, how everything transpired. Once we got out of the playoffs, we went right after the guys that we wanted in Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. Now, what does that have to do with right now? What does that all have to do with where we are right now? I don't think that the Philadelphia Eagles went into the season saying this is a Super Bowl year. This is Super Bowl or bust. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles coming into this season, they were, I want to say, top 5, top 3 youngest teams in the NFL with an average age around 26. Now, that may have changed over a couple of weeks, right? You know, people come onto the team, people leave the team. So it might have changed a little bit. But I truly do believe that the Philadelphia Eagles were building this team for the future. You look at the defense especially. Having a guy like Darius Slay still having a great season. Shout out to him. Unblock me, dog. But he's having a great season. You look at him, he's a veteran. You had James Bradbury. They probably were hoping they would utilize him. Obviously, with the injury, not able to. Avonte Maddox not looking like himself, if I'm being 100% honest. Outside of that, I mean, I guess you could bring up Brandon Graham, but outside of that, this defense is very, very young. You have 2 guys in that secondary between Cooper DeJean and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell that are going to be the future of your secondary. I think that the Eagles came into this year saying, let's grow, let's continue to learn each other. Offensively, you have a new offensive coordinator. Give Jalen Hurts some time to kind of get used to Kellen Moore and what he's going to want to do. I think that there was a lot of wholeness put on let's get younger. And going into this offseason, I think a lot of Eagles fans understood that. And I'm glad that they did it now. Look at 2017 when we won the Super Bowl. I felt like they were trying to hold on a little bit too long, right? You had guys like Jason Peters playing until he was like 900 years old. You had a lot of older guys that I just felt like they didn't want to let go of because they wanted to try and go for another ring, which is cool, and that's all fine and dandy, but it sets you back if you're not prepared. Howie Roseman has done an amazing job of being prepared for the next chapter of the Philadelphia Eagles, and like I said, all along that defensive line, Jalen Carter is going to be the face of this defense for a long time. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, going to be the face of this defense for a long time. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson missed 8 tackles in his first, I believe, 4 games, has not missed a single tackle in this last 6-game stretch, so he's coming along. You look at Reed Blankenship, he's coming along. There's been a lot of youth, a huge youth moment. Zach Bond's not that old. Nakobe Dean is finally healthy and finally taking the steps that I feel like I've been saying for a while. He is a good player, and I think that people are starting to see that. You look at the rest of this, we're just young. We're young. You look at the offense, right? Offensive line-wise, you got Landon Dickerson. You got Cam Jurgens, who's coming along. You got Jordan Mailata, who's not that old. Lane Johnson's the oldest guy you got. Lane Johnson's the oldest guy you got. Mekhi Becton, a huge steal. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith just turned 26. Jalen Hurts, I think, is around 26. I mean, you have such a Saquon Barkley's not that old. You have such a young nucleus, and you have them signed for so long that I don't believe, and I could be wrong. They could have been. I think that every year they go in and they say, if we can win a Super Bowl, let's go ahead and do it. But the moves did not equate to me saying, oh, these guys are all in for a Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust. I just didn't see that. And I feel like that's scary for the rest of the NFL. This isn't our final form. Like I said in the beginning, we have a ways to go. There's a lot of things that I want to see cleaned up. I think that, again, I still believe you can get another running back to kind of pair with Saquon Barkley, make that a nice little two-headed, three-headed monster if you really trust in Kenneth Gainwell. Defensively, I think we can still get some more edge rushers. I think we can still get better in the secondary, better on the linebacking core. So even if it's just depth, it is a scary thought. It is a very scary thought, especially for the rest of the NFL, the rest of the NFC East, that the Eagles aren't even where they need to be 100%. We got money next year. We have draft assets for the next couple of years coming. This team is only going to get better. Only going to get better. I still see a lot of mistakes. Our offense hasn't even played a perfect game yet. Imagine. Just imagine. That's what I'm trying to kind of explain, trying to get out. You know, I see a lot of people looking at this team and they're like, oh, this is a really good team. Are they the best? Are they this? Are they that? They don't have to be yet. They don't have to be yet. This team has invested in the future and the now. And that's very rare to see. I mean, you look at the Lions. The Lions are a very young team. They've kind of done the same thing, right? But I take our defense over their defense almost any day. So I'm very excited about what this Eagles team can be and what they already have been. But again, I just don't see this being the final form. I don't see this being the end-all, be-all. This could be a Super Bowl team, and that's even scarier because I do feel like in the offseason we're going to get even better. I think that Howie Roseman has kind of unlocked his drafting power. He's been drafting way better, especially in the first 3 rounds. So I'm loving what I see out of this team. I think that the coaching staff will continue to grow and continue to learn their players, which kind of brings me to another topic, which you guys let me know if y'all want me to make a full video on this. But I've been thinking about Vic Fangio a lot. I've been thinking about Kellen Moore a lot. And Eagles have always been a victim of their own success, right? Whenever we do well, people want our coaching staff. So I don't see them being here for the longest, right? The long haul, maybe 2-3 years. I'd be happy with that. Who's next, right? I think that the Eagles need to get in the system or get in the mindset of who's going to take over. Vic, pick one of these guys that you're going to just basically put under your wing, and whenever you're ready to retire or move on, if you want to go get a head coaching job, we can say, all right, well, then that's our guy. He's going to be the guy that runs our defense when you leave. Same thing with offense. Pick somebody that you feel like you can just kind of put under your arm and say, this is how this offense works. This is how this team works. Go ahead and do with it as you will. So I can go deeper into that. I can definitely go deeper into that. You guys let me know if you want to talk about that. Other than that, you guys let me know what you want to talk about in the comments. But let me know, because I really, truly don't believe that this is the end of the Eagles. I don't think this is the final version of the Eagles. It's forever changing. The NFL is forever changing, right? Players are going to get better. Players are going to get worse. There's always up and down when it comes to power rankings, comes to rankings in general. So I do see things happening with this team that they get better, and there might be some areas where they fall off a little bit, but we have shown the propensity, especially Howie, has shown the propensity to make those corrections, and I think that we will continue to do that. So I would love to know what you guys think. Do you feel that the Philadelphia Eagles can only get better, or do you feel like this is the Eagles' best version, and this is where they should stay? I would love to know what you guys think. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. I'm trying to get to like 10K, man. I think we can hit 10K. I really do, and it would really mean a lot to me. I'm gonna start getting back on these full time, so you're gonna see a lot of my face. I love y'all, but other than that, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's gonna be. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. I need a tie. I'm gonna start wearing a tie. Peace.
Everywhere. This is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season head, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.